In my opinion, remember, this is just my opinion, companies that created these old obsolete consoles should let newer companies have creative freedom to bring back their work in newer ways. Maybe hit them with a small percentage. And if they put their name to back up these younger companies, I believe it could be big for both parties involved. Think about it. These young developers got this inspired because of something they love, just like role-playing games or RPGs. Lots of that stuff was inspired from like Dungeons and Dragons or maybe other old games that goes way over my head and no lie, I know nothing about. I can go on about this, but who am I to really say anything? I'm a small fry and they all probably got their reasons why. But let me ask you, do you think it's all about control, that they don't want you to own your games? To be confined to their services. Can't go old school and get a game from your buddy and enjoy it the same way your friend did? To keep those memories going, playing our own games through new ways and devices. It's a subject that can be a deep dive, but I'm gonna say this. They can't stop nostalgia. Rather we love our old physical games or into emulation, the library is super vast, just large. Example, the PlayStation Classic, when they came out with that. They placed a few titles. I forgot how many, but everyone that played that console, it's always went with these words. Why they didn't add, or they should have added this. Because you know why? The fans know their titles. Which brings me to this console right here. The Analogue 3D. This just might be my last time I'm gonna say this, but don't hold me to it because I make mistakes. I was not a big fan of the 64. Over time with emulation devices, I came around. But after experiencing this console, that statement might be the thing of the past. Let's get started. What is going on, you guys? Your boy Famous Kid Video Game Entertainment. And before we go any further, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. Click like, subscribing. It's always a big help. Now, why did I say creative freedom? I'm gonna start with this. Fancy, expensive console. Well worth it, by the way, but you have to buy a controller separately. Question, wouldn't it be awesome to have an upgraded 64 or an N64 controller by the creators and not just analog? But Awesome Hyperkin has the Admiral Premium Wireless Controller, which is awesome and budget friendly. I'll leave a link in the description. I know there's a debate that 8-bit dough is better, but to me, it's nostalgia. I'm not picky, as long as it's pretty responsive, and I'm just totally fine with it. By the way, I don't consider this a review or my setup process or how to. This is just my simple thoughts and me just setting this up. You can follow along if you want, but there's far better videos out there that have a deeper dive and a better setup process. But if you have faster ways, please leave in the comments. The goal is for us all to help each other, myself included. And with that out the way, let's jump in. Now I noticed that there was an SD card in the back here, which means that it can be updated. So the first thing I'm gonna do out the box, I'm just gonna go ahead and update this thing before I even get started. All right, inside your Analogue 3D, it's gonna look like this. Just gonna be some simple files up in there, library setting that this is the root of the SD, okay? So we're gonna hop on the internet. Okay, right here is the website right here. I'll leave a link in the description. And basically we're gonna go ahead and get this update file. This thing probably updated already because it's one of the like colored models, but just in case, I wanna go ahead and just kind of update it anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and hit that download, and I'm gonna go ahead and save it into a file somewhere. And then that way I can go ahead and copy it to that SD card. So what I'm gonna do, I'm put in my little folder that I always been using, get Xbox working, and I'm just gonna save it there and just put it up there. All right, now once you got the file and you download the file, basically you just gotta just go ahead and just copy it, and then you just gonna paste it right into the SD card or the root of the SD card. Once you do that, you gonna hop back to the Analogue 3D and it's just gonna do its thing. Now back to the console right here. Once you put the SD card back up in there, you're gonna go ahead and power this thing on. Okay, once it powers on, go through a little process as everything lights will start flickering. By the way, that light that you see on the front of the console, it's actually a button. You could push it and it'll go through a pairing process if you want to plug up your controllers. But in this case right here, as you can see, it's doing an update. So your little controller ports is going to go ahead and light up because it's doing its update. So you just got to wait it out, chill, this is that and the third. Once everything gets done, then it's going to go back to, it's going to go to set up to the whole getting started process. So with the power of editing, this is the first time I'm turning on the console So the first time I'm getting started, fresh console. I ain't even play it yet. I just plugged this thing up and just went to the update process first. Now look, now I'm just gonna go ahead and set this up. So basically I'm just gonna go ahead and plug up my controller, okay? And it's telling you how to go ahead and pair if you got a Bluetooth controller. Now the Bluetooth thing didn't work for me wirelessly, so basically I'm just gonna use this little piece right here and plug it up to one of the ports and go old school. All right, everything's ready. And you can just tell this thing is just ready for the 8-bit Dell controller. But I think that I believe that the Xbox controllers work, because Xbox controllers plug up to anything. I mean, real. So that shit problem with this. So what I'm just gonna do, just gonna go through all this, and I'm quite sure you guys have seen like the setups as far as like the game menu and stuff. Now I put this the Summer Cart 64 cartridge up inside as the first one because I heard that it works. So I'm gonna test that out first. But there's some settings and stuff like that you can go through and set all this up. I'm quite sure you guys have seen all this stuff before. I might just switch up some stuff just to kind of play around with it, but I'm just gonna mess with it probably later on. But other than that, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of tamper with the cartridge, and I want to see if that works out. I remember when I had did one of my previous videos not too long ago when I first got this Summer Cart 64. I was talking about the Analogue 3D, and somebody did in the comments told me that it works on here, and it does. I'm so happy that it works on. Now, any game that you see me play up on here, I own the actual cartridge. So, but as I'm just kind of tampering with this, I was inspired after playing it. I wanted to expand the storage on here. Now, before I even start saying anything, I just want to let you know I'm not trying to sell anything or say that hey, I want you to, go to the Patreon, but I just wanted to just let you guys know, because I don't want to go too far when it comes down to games on this particular platform. But I did on the Patreon, I had made a video expanding the storage on the Summer Cart 64 and added more games, and oh my goodness, a great experience. But I just put that video over there on the Patreon because I just didn't want to get messed with over here. Experiencing some of this stuff and basically doing some setups while the game's going, I think that's super cool, because this is like, and then the look of it, I think this is like, I don't know if this is like what is like a scan line or something like that. I don't know if it's like a CRT filter, but I'll probably mess with it a little bit more later on down. This just looks really good already, and I haven't even fully tested everything out. I mean, but over time I am and doing setup, but this is like, wow, this is definitely like a whole nother level in gaming. I mean, I really thought that the original console, playing on the original console, and even like with like playing with using the HDMI adapters, I mean, that was like super cool to me. But this is like, wow, this is another level. And I'm not trying to like push anything or try to sell it, but this is like, dang, oh man, it's amazing. I'm starting to have a little bit of fun here. So I wanted to just grab a couple more games, and I want to go ahead and try to put them in and go ahead and set it up and have it up on the screen for the little menu and stuff like that, so to look to show the games and stuff like that, because I've been seeing it when they was doing reviews and stuff. So I was just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be tight. But wait, there's no box art now. After been like messing around with this thing, I was wondering, I thought it was something wrong with the console, but come to find out is that Analogue wasn't like, I think that they did with this update, they stopped doing the whole, I don't want to call it box art or cover art, I call it cover art whatever you want to call it, because I guess they didn't want to get in trouble. Another thing about creative freedom, and that sucked. But just like I said before, I'm not trying to push you guys over there. I did another video while doing all this. I did another video over there on the Patreon of basically setting up the artwork on the cartridges, well, how I did it. So at the same time, because the fact is I had to do a little bit of digging, and just like I said, I don't want to do it over here, but I put it over there on the Patreon. I did some digging, and yeah, I was able to get the little artwork and everything back on it. I mean, you can look it up if you want to, go to Google and figure it out, but I would just say, I had did a little video over there, support, and go kick it over there and just like see the steps that I did to set that. I'm gonna be honest, once again, I got games that I own on this console, from Pokemon to Revolt, that I have not played yet. I have them because I'm just a collector. I love collecting games, but at the same time, I haven't even played these. And with this console, I'm definitely gonna be experiencing and playing those games now. And that's not including, I might be jumping back into Ocarina of Time, and I haven't got a chance to even end Majora's Mask, which I think is about about time for me to jump up into that too and go for it. This console is definitely like has inspired me, and because I do, and I'm like I'm a nostalgia. I love nostalgia. I respect it a lot, you know. And I'm not just what I'm saying. I'm not putting it down, no way, shape, or form. I was just more up in the PlayStation more during that point of time. But this actually now I get that piece of history that I've been like, wow, and this is like respectable. I mean, seriously, this is a respected console. I mean, because a lot of people do talk about it today, and I really haven't got a chance to really dig in it like with this now. I wish that people can go up inside like Walmart, or you know what I'm saying, or Target or something like that, and be able to pick up a console like this. And that's the reason why I was like, man, people like creative freedom to be able to like push stuff like this out. And with that being said, I'm gonna be out, you guys. If you guys made it this far, I truly appreciate it. Just like I said, I don't want to consider this as a review. I just was just trying to experience it and just setting it up and enjoying it, and I love it. I'm like, wow, because I never had any luck with Analogue, and to this day I still don't have an Analogue Pocket. It's just hard to find. But you know, I mean, of course you have it on eBay for higher price and stuff like that, but hopefully I'll be able to catch the next Analogue Pocket 2 or something. All right, you guys, and from gamer to gamer, thanks for watching.